Alright, hey there. I drove to Alviso today. It was so smoky in Visalia. Normally we have a pretty good group ride on Tuesdays that I can do here locally, but the smoke from the Sequoia's fire was just pouring down into town, and our air index was just horrid and it smelled like a fireplace outside. So I thought, well, Alviso looks pretty clear, pretty nice day up there. I'm gonna head up there and do it. So here we are. Race just started in earnest. I think we're one lap in. Pretty decent sized group, not too big, but I think there was like maybe 20 guys, maybe. But fast guys. I mean, this race was fast. It was just non-stop attack, hit after hit. This was a crosswind section here. The wind's coming from our left shoulder. Now we're turning into the headwind. And as per usual, the finishing stretch is a tailwind, which ended up being pretty fast every lap. Those of you that watch the NorCal cycling videos, you probably recognize a lot of the players. Thirsty Bear had Blaine and Jerome. Jeff Linder was there. Matt McCall and Dave, Super Dave, they both had their state championship crit kits on, so they're both state champs. I didn't recognize the jerseys because I hadn't seen the state champ jerseys. They're actually really nice. I kind of like the looks of them. But Thirsty Bear kind of took turns attacking. Let's see, there's Matt in his jersey right there. It never really let up. As soon as we had a little bit of traffic on the course, there's an Amazon truck that stopped in 2 different places to drop off packages. So we kind of neutralize ourselves and safely get around them. There's Jeff Linder in front of me. He's got his chest cam on. This was one of the few rare moments where there was a little bit of a lull, but as you can see, it's probably not going to last very long. Someone's going to attack immediately. And there we go. There's Thirsty Bear. Thirsty Bear, they definitely race well together. There's quite a few guys here that I didn't recognize, but I knew the ones definitely to worry about, so you just kind of got to key off of them. Every time Matt goes, you know, it's gonna kind of ignite everybody. Jeff marks him, then Jerome marks Jeff. There's Max. He's a newer rider from Cognition that he makes some pretty good videos too. He's turned into a really solid little rider. So anytime those guys go up the road, I know that I need to be up there. Otherwise the race is going to be gone. There's some areas where we roll into traffic here. Like this car right here kind of freaked out when we came around this corner. But we all stay to the right pretty good. They really respect traffic. Tried to stay on the right hand side right here because this is where the crosswind was. This road's really rough and chopped up. It always worries me when they make that left turn, because if a car's coming, I think we passed a fire truck at one point too that was coming with code 3 sirens running, blaring the air horn at us. It was definitely nice to get up north into some good weather and some clean air. They've had their share of fires as well, but theirs seem to have passed by. Now it's pretty clear. Well, Blaine lets that gap open so his teammate can roll up the road. I left town at about 9 o'clock, and I was in my mind, I was thinking that this race started at 12:30, and as I was halfway up there I realized it started at 12:05, so I got here about 12:03, and I had about enough time to throw my kit on and jump on the bike just as the group was coming by. And then they're supposed to do a 1-lap neutral, I thought, but they started racing pretty much as soon as they rounded the first corner. So it took me a few laps to get my legs under me. There's Jerome with his pretty trick bike. Rainbow's got kind of a rainbow tint to it. Jerome went with us to Gateway in St. Louis, and my teammate and I, Bart, we wanted to help him win one of the stages, so we kind of set him up nicely, and he took stage 2 in the pouring rain at Gateway against a pretty stacked field, so it's a pretty impressive win. And pretty much the last 6 or 7 races that I've raced, I've been on teamwork duty, doing lead outs and chasing breaks down, so it was kind of nice to just not have to do anything and just try to race for myself. There's a car as we come around this corner. It's a little sketchy sometimes. That's why I stay very far wide. I could hear the pretty yelling car, so I just stay really wide to the right, just to avoid it. And there's some parked cars on the course too you had to watch out for. That's Big Ben in front of me, Ben Coda. He's also pretty strong. We're moving pretty good right here in this crosswind. Somebody must be drilling it pretty hard up front. I didn't really go in any breaks, but I definitely had to put some hard efforts in to close a few gaps down that were rolling up the road. There's Ryan Wong right there from San Jose. He was only one of the few San Jose riders here today. Usually there's a bunch of them. And then in front of him on Cortex is Sergey Badeka. One of my old teammates from Cortex. And there's Jeff Linder, the famous NorCal cycling, puts out some pretty good videos. I'm sure I'll be in this one because he usually makes an Alviso video. If a break doesn't get away and it comes down to a sprint, Jeff's definitely the guy to beat. He has a really fast sprint. He's just coming off of a win, a birthday win at the Oakland Grand Prix in the P12 race. So I knew if it came down to a sprint, he and Matt are both really snappy sprinters, and of course Jerome is always a fast sprinter too. Those three guys are the biggest ones for me to watch out for, but I kind of had a plan that I was going to jump Jeff really early. He usually likes to come off a wheel and wind up his sprint and just blow everybody's doors off. And I thought my only chance of beating him, and I don't really have the snap in my legs anymore at my age to just go toe to toe with him, sprint to sprint. So I thought if I get a good gap and get on top of a gear and hold it, maybe I could pull off a sneaky one. So that's what I tried later on. See, I had to close this gap here because that was kind of a dangerous break. This guy kind of lets a gap open. Jerome's kind of in my ear saying, "Get up there." So I kind of let him take as much of a pull as he can, and then I'll close the rest of it. I think we're coming into 2 laps to go here. Yeah, there goes an attack again. Blaine was pretty active. He attacked quite a bit. But, you know, it's hard to stay away from this group by yourself. He probably needed at least 2 guys with him to be able to stay away. And every time Matt would go with him, or Max, they would usually get chased down pretty quick. Everybody's kind of a marked man. See, there they go. They're going to close him down. Me, I would have let him cook out there a little bit. Of course, that's Jerome's teammate, so he doesn't have to do any work. He's just going to slot in and just cruise. At this point, I kind of knew it was going to come down to a sprint. Nobody was able to get away from this field. Super Dave was here in the race, but he was kind of hanging out in the back. He had a flat tire, and he tried to change his tube, and his stem was too small for his rim. So he took his old tube and cut it off, and then retrofitted it over the top of his other tube, and somehow got it in his tire, pumped it up, and got it to work. I think it only held like 40 or 50 psi, but he was still able to finish the ride. Oh, there goes Jeff. And there goes everybody. He definitely has a huge target on his back. He's definitely one of the strongest guys out here. And he won from a break in Oakland. He wasn't usually he wins by a pack sprint, but in this case he won by a break. Normally this would be a good time to counterattack if I had super legs, which I didn't, so someone's gonna counter though. I just figure as long as Jeff and Matt are around me, nothing's gonna get away. I think we're going into Bell Lap here. Everybody's, yeah, I remember Jeff coming inside on the camper there to move back up towards the front. The pace is definitely high enough. I don't think anybody's going to get away at this point. Yeah, we're moving now. I can't remember who was up the front drilling it, but they were moving. So I gotta move up. I want to start moving up here, so I'm gonna use this crosswind section here and move up on the left and kind of get a little bit closer to the front, get up near Matt and Jeff. And that's my spot right here. That's the sweet spot. I know Jeff's a little bit too far forward. There you go, Super Dave. Ryan said I chopped him inside right here. I don't see where I did that. I'm just kind of following the wheels here. Oh, maybe it's this corner here. I'm just... maybe it was right there when I moved to the right. So I'm in a good spot here because I'm right on Matt's wheel. Sometimes Matt likes to go really early, so I was kind of anticipating that. But he ended up just going to the front and pulling real hard. I should have never let this guy get in front of me, but it didn't really matter. It's just one extra person to draft off of. So now we got 2 little short turns to go here, and then it's the final drag to the finish. I just kind of keep my momentum going around this corner. And there goes Max. He's going after Matt. I kind of get boxed in here a little bit, and then I see Jeff come around on my left, and I was like, if he jumps first, I'm toast. So I decide to jump right here. And I just go for it. All or nothing. I went way too early, but I thought, well, if I can just keep on top of this gear, and then about right here, I just cracked. And then Jeff slides by me for the win, and I get second. But hey, if I'm gonna lose, I don't mind losing to one of the fastest sprinters in NorCal, so that was a lot of fun.